The images capture significant moments of Native American heritage, showcasing the Jicarilla Apache girl's beaded attire, which reflects her cultural pride and lineage, and highlights the resilience of her people through challenges like colonization and modernization. Moving to the Sioux warriors, their traditional regalia and feathered war bonnets symbolize bravery and a deep connection to their land and traditions, even as they face a world of forced assimilation. Finally, a Cheyenne elder, holding a ceremonial pipe, embodies the wisdom and continuity of his culture, representing a bridge between past and future as he upholds the sacred traditions of his tribe. This series of photographs illustrates the enduring cultural connections of various Native American tribes. The Arapaho family gathers around a teepee, symbolizing their nomadic lifestyle and deep connection to the land, even as they navigate a period of transition. Their unity, from elders to children, reflects the strength of community and tradition amid challenges. The Ute woman, standing before the Rocky Mountains, embodies her tribe's spiritual bond with the land. Her woven basket, rich with ancestral patterns, signifies the resilience of Ute heritage. Lastly, a Pawnee man with his horse against a setting sun captures the serene dignity of a people whose traditions and relationship with nature remain steadfast despite a changing world. The images offer a powerful glimpse into the enduring cultural heritage of Native American tribes. In the Pawnee photo, the setting sun poignantly symbolizes the close of an era, as a man and his horse stand as reminders of a time when the Pawnee roamed freely. Yet, even as the light fades, there is hope for their resilience and continuity. The Hoopa cradleboard exemplifies traditional craftsmanship, weaving a deep connection between child, community, and nature. The mother's calm demeanor reflects the tribe's belief in nurturing children with the earth's strength. This scene beautifully captures the significance of caregiving within the Hoopa culture. The Chippewa women, skillfully harvesting wild rice with wooden paddles, highlight a communal tradition deeply tied to the land and their community's sustenance. These images, while evoking a sense of history, remind us of the resilience, beauty, and enduring legacy of Native American tribes. They prompt us to honor and remember these stories, ensuring that the rich histories and cultures of Native American communities are never forgotten. These images collectively portray the deep cultural identities and resilience of various Native American tribes. The Chippewa women's wild rice harvest reflects their sacred connection to Manuman, a gift from the Creator essential to their spiritual and physical well-being. This image encapsulates their shared bond with each other, their ancestors, and the environment. The portrait of a Pawnee warrior on the prairie symbolizes the tribe's close relationship with the land and their enduring spirit. His eagle feathers, symbols of bravery, honor the Pawnee's legacy of resilience despite adversity. The Ute elder by the fire represents a sacred bond with the Rocky Mountains. His presence signifies the perseverance of Ute traditions amidst loss and forced assimilation, embodying the enduring flame of their culture. Lastly, the image of Black Shawl offers a glimpse into the life of Crazy Horse's wife, embodying the untold stories of Native American women who, despite their pivotal roles, remain in the shadows of history. Her quiet dignity reflects the personal and communal struggles faced by the Lakota people. Together, these photos connect us to a legacy of strength, survival, and cultural pride, ensuring that the histories and traditions of Native American tribes are honored and remembered. These images depict the resilience and complex histories of Native American figures and their interactions with a changing world. Black Shawl's tragic story reflects the grief and strength of Native women who faced loss from diseases brought by settlers. Her life, though less documented, symbolizes the quiet endurance of Native families amidst overwhelming adversity. The Cheyenne dog soldier embodies the fierce warrior spirit, with his asterisk dog rope representing an unbreakable vow to protect his tribe. His intense gaze captures the Cheyenne's ethos of courage and honor in the face of imminent danger. The Pawnee Scout, dressed in U.S. military attire, illustrates the difficult choices Native men faced. As scouts, they balanced loyalty to their people with the pressures of serving a government that often placed them against other tribes, reflecting a complex relationship during the Plains Indian Wars. The photograph of Buffalo Bill and Sitting Bull represents the uneasy alliance between a native leader and a Euro-American icon. While Sitting Bull's participation in the Wild West show commodified native culture, he also used it as an opportunity to support the Lakota, highlighting the pragmatic choices native leaders had to make. Finally, Jicarilla Apache's legacy as a Dakota Sioux writer and activist stands out. Despite early cultural suppression, she became a prominent advocate, using her writing and music to preserve native traditions and fight for native rights, illustrating the enduring impact of native voices on American society. These images collectively remind us of the challenges Native Americans endured and the strength they displayed in preserving their heritage and advocating for their communities. Through this photograph, we see a woman who defied the odds, using her talents and voice to fight for her people's dignity and survival. Jicarilla Apache's legacy endures as a testament to the power of cultural preservation and advocacy in the face of overwhelming adversity. The image of the 6 Crow Scouts standing solemnly by the graves on the Little Bighorn battlefield in 1908 evokes a poignant reflection on the complexities of loyalty, identity, and survival during one of the most infamous battles in American history. The Crow tribe, who were traditional enemies of the Lakota Sioux, had aligned with the U.S. Army during the Indian Wars, a decision born out of necessity and self-preservation. The Crow Scouts, serving as key interpreters and guides for the U.S. Army, played a crucial role in scouting the terrain and providing intelligence on enemy movements to Custer's 7th Cavalry in the lead-up to the battle. Despite their efforts, the catastrophic defeat of Custer's forces at the Battle of the Little Bighorn remains a pivotal and tragic chapter in U.S. Native American relations. For the Crow, their alignment with the U.S. military was fraught with contradictions. Fighting alongside a government that sought to subdue native tribes, including their own traditional enemies. This image, taken decades after the battle, is particularly haunting as these 6 scouts return to the site where so many lives were lost, both native and U.S. soldiers alike. The graves they stand beside symbolize not just the casualties of a specific battle but the broader, devastating loss of life and culture that resulted from decades of conflict between Native American tribes and the U.S. government. Next, we have a striking photograph of Whiteman Runs Him, a notable warrior who fought in the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Also known by the name Brave Eagle, Whiteman Runs Him posed for this photograph in 1910, long after the battle that made him a legend. His name, along with others like Sitting Bull and Crazy Horse, is forever etched into the history of Native American resistance against U.S. expansion. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, or Custer's Last Stand as it's often called, was fought in June 1876, as a direct response to the U.S. government's efforts to force native tribes onto reservations. Whiteman Runs Him, alongside other prominent native leaders, played a critical role in the battle, which culminated in a devastating defeat for Custer's forces. In the photograph, Whiteman Runs Him stands with a quiet dignity, his expression thoughtful and reflective, as if still carrying the weight of the battle's memories. The tactical skills and bravery he and other native warriors displayed during the battle were crucial to their victory against the better-armed U.S. forces. The coalition of Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors, fighting to protect their lands and way of life, struck a blow that would be remembered for generations. This image of Whiteman Runs Him, taken decades after the battle, is a powerful reminder of the resilience and strength of Native American warriors, who fought to preserve their cultures against overwhelming odds. We now turn to another significant photograph, a gathering of United States officials and Native American chiefs in Pine Ridge, South Dakota, dated 1891. The image captures a moment of deep historical importance, documenting a critical meeting between U.S. government representatives and leaders from several Native American tribes, including the Oglala Lakota, Minneconjou, and Brule Sioux. This gathering was not merely ceremonial. It was likely part of the ongoing negotiations between the U.S. government and Native American tribes, addressing key issues such as land rights, governance, and the preservation of native cultures. These meetings, while seemingly diplomatic, often reflected the intense pressures Native American communities faced during the late 19th century. The relentless push for westward expansion by the U.S. meant that these leaders were negotiating not only for their immediate survival but also for the future of their people. The image shows Native leaders seated alongside U.S. officials, a visual representation of the difficult and often unequal relationship between the two sides. For the Native chiefs, this was a time of great upheaval, as they fought to protect their lands, resources, and ways of life from being overtaken by settlers and the expanding American government. The photograph serves as a stark reminder of the complex power dynamics at play during this era and the enduring struggle for Native sovereignty. Finally, we return to the subject of the Battle of the Little Bighorn with another evocative image, this time of General Custer's 6 Crow Scouts, who played a vital role in the events leading up to the battle. Taken in 1908, this photograph shows the 6 Crow men standing by the graves on the battlefield, reflecting on the tragic events that occurred over 30 years prior. The Crow tribe had long been enemies of the Lakota Sioux, and their decision to align with the U.S. Army during the Indian Wars was motivated by the hope of preserving their own lands and people. The Crow Scouts served as Custer's eyes and ears in the rugged terrain of the Montana Plains, providing crucial information about the movements of the Lakota, Cheyenne, and Arapaho forces. However, despite their efforts, the U.S. Army severely underestimated the strength and resolve of the Native coalition. The devastating defeat that followed not only marked the end of Custer's military career but also signaled a turning point in the U.S. government's campaign against the Native tribes of the Great Plains. As the Crow Scouts stand by the graves, they are reminded of the tragic consequences of that day, but also of the difficult choices they made in their alliance with the U.S. forces. This image is a sobering reflection on the complexities of loyalty and survival in a time of great conflict and change for Native American communities. Through these photographs and the stories they capture, we are reminded of the enduring spirit of Native American resistance, resilience, and adaptation. Each image offers a glimpse into the lives of individuals and communities who, despite facing overwhelming odds, fought to protect their cultures, lands, and ways of life. These moments frozen in time continue to speak to us today, urging us to remember the rich history and enduring legacy of Native American peoples. As we conclude this exploration of remarkable Native American figures and their stories, let's take a moment to reflect on the cultural resilience and artistic brilliance showcased throughout history. Starting with Black Eagle, the Oglala Lakota medicine man from 1932, we are reminded of the deep spiritual and cultural significance that medicine men held within their communities. These individuals, revered as intermediaries between the physical world and the spirit realm, were not just healers but also custodians of wisdom passed down through generations. Black Eagle, like many other Wiccasawakan, would have been deeply immersed in the spiritual traditions of his people, utilizing sacred objects such as pipes, herbs, and eagle feathers to restore balance to those in need. His role extended beyond physical healing, encompassing the emotional and spiritual well-being of his community. The training of a medicine man was a lifelong journey that often included vision quests, personal, spiritual odysseys that involved isolation, fasting, and communion with nature to receive guidance from the divine. These quests were essential not only for personal growth but also for the medicine man's ability to serve as a spiritual leader. The photograph of Black Eagle offers more than just an image. It captures the essence of the Lakota's enduring connection to the sacred, a reminder that the spiritual leaders of Native communities were key to maintaining the harmony and survival of their people in challenging times. Next, we delve into the profound impact of U.S. government assimilation policies on Native American children, exemplified by a series of photographs of Navajo students. The first image shows these young boys as they arrived at their boarding school, their faces a mix of curiosity, apprehension, and confusion as they stepped into a world entirely unfamiliar to them. In 1882, when these photos were taken, Native American children were forcibly removed from their families and sent to government-run boarding schools designed to erase their indigenous identities and replace them with Western cultural norms. The transformation seen in the comparison photo, taken years later, is stark. The boys, once dressed in traditional Navajo clothing, now appear in Western attire, their haircuts and overall appearance reflecting the profound influence of these assimilation policies. The boarding schools were infamous for their harsh conditions, where Native children were often forbidden from speaking their language, practicing their culture, or maintaining any connection with their heritage. The assimilation policies, though devastating, have left a complex legacy. While many Native children were stripped of their cultural identities, some were able to navigate the difficult terrain of two worlds, eventually becoming advocates for their people. These images serve as a stark reminder of the price Native communities paid as they were forcibly integrated into the dominant Euro-American society. Our final image in this episode is a captivating portrait of Nampeo, the renowned Hopi Tewa potter who revolutionized Native American pottery during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. Nampeo's work is celebrated not only for its technical excellence but also for its cultural significance. She played a critical role in reviving the ancient Sikiaki pottery style, a pre-Hopi technique that had all but vanished by her time. Nampeo's artistic genius lay in her ability to blend ancient Hopi designs, such as migration patterns and bird motifs, with innovative shapes and techniques, creating works that were both functional and deeply symbolic. Her pottery, characterized by its thin walls and muted earth tone colors, was a masterful blend of form and function, serving as both art and artifact. Nampeo's work quickly gained recognition, and by the late 19th century, she was featured in exhibitions around the world, including the famed 1893 Chicago World's Columbian Exposition. Her legacy is one of artistic revival and cultural pride. By preserving ancient techniques while pushing the boundaries of design, Nampeo ensured that Hopi pottery would continue to be appreciated for generations to come. Her work not only represents the skill and creativity of Native American artisans but also the importance of cultural preservation in the face of external pressures. As we wrap up this episode, we encourage you to reflect on the stories told through these photographs. Each image holds a piece of Native American history, capturing the strength, resilience, and cultural vibrancy of communities that have endured centuries of hardship and struggle. From medicine men like Black Eagle, who safeguarded the spiritual health of their people, to the young Navajo students whose identities were reshaped by assimilation policies, to the artistic brilliance of Nampeo, whose pottery bridges ancient tradition and modern innovation, these stories are woven into the fabric of American history. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you've found these stories as compelling as we have, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more tales of Native American history, art, and culture in future episodes. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for exclusive content and insights into the rich and diverse history of Native American peoples. We'll see you next time.